Ray Vickery was Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Trade Development from 1993 to 1997. He was a leader in implementing the National Export Strategy, setting up and managing the Advocacy Center, and promoting the Big Emerging Markets Initiative. A Phi Beta Kappa, Ray has a magna cum laude degree from Duke University, a law degree from Harvard Law School. He served 3 terms in the Virginia General Assembly. He currently is at the international advisory firm of the Albright Stonebridge Group. He's a scholar, he's a gentleman, and he too is my friend. Ray Vickery.
So when you talk about commercial diplomacy and the use of economic engagement, it's not the kind of one-to-one sort of situation in diplomacy that you get with a military operation or a treaty. You can see exactly how it happens. And so in a way, that's the easy way to do diplomacy. And it takes the kinds of work that you're doing to see the broader picture. At the present time, the Ronald H. Brown legacy in commercial diplomacy is evident every time a head of state or head of government ventures abroad. In almost every instance, commercial engagement is a key portion of a president's or a prime minister's brief when he or she embarks on a mission to a foreign country. More often than not, a business delegation will be a vital part of the program for the foreign visit. Before the partnership between Bill Clinton and Ron Brown in this vital endeavor, commercial diplomacy in the United States particularly was viewed as a make-weight or superficial part of diplomacy. The enhanced role of economic engagement at our own U.S. State Department is evidence of the Ron Brown legacy. However, there remains much to be done to build on the commercial diplomacy legacy of Ron Brown and achieve the full benefits of such diplomacy. First, governments need more professionals who by education and experience are fitted to use commercial diplomacy. Too often, programs in diplomacy are overly oriented toward the military component of statecraft and do not produce the sorts of broad-gauge analysts and advisors who are proficient in economic and cultural aspects of statecraft, as well as those that pertain to the use of force. Fortunately, Dubrovnik International University is in the forefront of a movement to provide the sort of academic programs in diplomacy that are needed to meet the needs of a world in which international violence seldom proves productive of sound outcomes. Second, governments need to find ways to draw on all their resources relevant to the conduct of foreign diplomacy. Anybody who's been in government will tell you that there is so much infighting among bureaus that you often can't get the kinds of resources that you need from wherever they exist. There's a tendency to say, no, that's my territory and you keep out of it. Third, commercial diplomacy should be more fully integrated into the foreign policy planning of the United States and other Western democracy. You can't use it unless you plan for it. Fourth, nations with market economies must be willing to partner with their private sector for effective commercial diplomacy. Finally, the Western democracies should maintain their abilities to conduct commercial diplomacy in the face of economic and budget difficulties. As President Clinton said at Ron Brown's funeral, quoting scripture, "Though we weep through the night, joy will come in the morning." So must it be now. Ron Brown showed that commercial diplomacy can be a positive alternative to violence and threats of violence by providing the hope of economic opportunity. This is a legacy that Ron Brown has passed on to this generation. The positive results of that diplomacy are all around us in Dubrovnik and this region. The great promise of this university, its faculty and its students, is that through your scholarship, the wider approach to diplomacy exemplified by Ron Brown and his colleagues, who gave their lives on St. John's Mountain, will flourish as an effective tool for bringing peace and prosperity to men and women throughout a deeply troubled world.